Hello, everyone. We are 5 minutes earlier than we was last week, and the week before that, and the week before that. Reason being is that we always seem to run out of time, don't we, of going for the drivers and the constructors. So hopefully I'll have time. But you can see that the drivers in the lobby is already in and ready to go almost. So I'm gonna have to really get my skates on today. Lego Gold, then Happy Brazil Day, Sean, and also it is also the World Conquer Championships as well, according to Google, which I'll also be keeping an eye out as well. As long as well as Gordo be happy, as Scotland, I think, have qualified, haven't they, for the World Cup now? I believe. Not. I have to turn off the last 5 minutes bit, but yeah, they did beat Bolivia. No, that's in Brazil. That's in South America somewhere, isn't it? It's one of those countries, anyway. Good evening to you, Jenna, as well. Hello to Jenna, and good luck to Gold as well. And also, it is my personal favourite holiday tomorrow because it describes me to a T. It's World Failure Day tomorrow as well. So if that is an absolute, that describes me to a T. Yes, cool. Right, let's go for the drivers and the constructors, shall we? Well, I've done some very quick maths. Maths, I said, not math. I've done some very quick maths, and no drivers or constructors will be won today. If Racing Bulls gets a 1-2 today, they are 2 points, and Kick Sauber does not score. They are 2 points off still. So if they get a 1-2 today, it doesn't matter. The Constructors Championship will still go on to the next race, which is in Las Vegas, I believe. I think it is in Las Vegas, isn't it? And also leads the championship by 41 points. And again, Sunsmith Ninja started to cut down that championship, but is it too little, too late though? Well, that remains to be seen. But it's still a tough ask, isn't it? Well, there's still 100 points left though, up for grabs. It'll be down to 78 by the end of tonight though. And of course, that brings us on to Brabbit in third position and 95 points adrift. And Brabbit will be officially out of the championship here tonight. Then, if he does not get that score, but if he does not win, basically, and his rivals and the two above him doesn't get on the podium or score highly. Flippy sadly is out of the championship after last week's result. Then, but what a debut season for Flippy in Gold. Then, absolutely commend him. Fantastic, really good stuff indeed. And then fifth position is Lucas Percy on 116 points. Fair play for Percy. Then, of course, he's only raced 12 times this year, and it's been a super sub for a lot of that as well. So, still good stuff indeed. Van Von is recovering from a surgery. Is it a surgery? He's broke his hand or foot. But he is driving tonight, but it's going to be in a lot of pain as the Red Bull driver. But he's sixth in the championship as well. No danger at present of being overtaken from Nameless, who's had a great resurgence in the last couple of weeks. He's been superb in seventh position. Young Lights and Boxstyle have both been rooted on 31 points now for umpteen races there. And once again, no Mercedes car is being represented, and that means that again they are very much in danger of dropping even further down the constructors. To be fair, they're lucky to be that high up in the championship, to be fair. Equals on 28 points, and it's a very low scoring championship this season. Shrevasta is on 23 points and only made his debut a few races ago. An absolutely superb driver he is indeed. Legends on 12 points. Cam on 10. He got his first and only pole position of his career in Gold then a few seasons ago here. Knowlesy on 4 points for Knowlesy, and I think that this is his last race up until Abu Dhabi, because he is going to be staying in Brazil then and partying on the Ibiza, no, not Ibiza, on the Brazilian beaches. I don't know, something like that, a bit of samba. Chaza on 3 points. I don't think he races anymore. Ramati is currently in the second Alpine on 2 points, and we'll go for drivers changes in just a jiffy because there's a lot of it feels like transfer deadline day. Brooksy on 1 point, and in the Ferrari 1 point for Morris as well. Potstuff and Delando currently have got no points so far, but I must say Delando is one of my personal heroes of the season for sticking at it. Fair play to you, because a lot of other drivers haven't got the medal. In the Constructors' Championship, it is Racing Bulls. As I mentioned today, they cannot win the Constructors' Championship today. Then they're going to be 2 points short if they get a 1-2. Kick Sauber is second on 86 points. And Alpine, who was so good at the beginning of the season, but sadly their top driver had to take an absence of leave, and their other driver couldn't be bothered. 209 points then. 190 points for the Haas car, and 19 points adrift of the Alpine. McLaren, Mercedes on 176 points, and Red Bull Racing on 101 points. Now that they're hoping to, I think this is going to be a bit of a stretch. Now they need to get 1-2s to get into the top 5. I don't think that's going to happen, sadly. Ferrari on 60 points. Then we have got Mercedes. Have got no drivers represented tonight, and I think that Aston Martin, who have been supreme in the last couple of races or so with Nameless and Cam doing some good point scoring, is now only 12 points adrift. And Williams are a further 19 points adrift, currently in 10th position. But Potstuff and Knowlesy is going to do their absolute utmost then to try and get them off the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. Now let's go to the Joint Constructors, and this is the closest Joint Constructors' Championship we have had in history in ALR Grand Prix racing, and it is like this. And 25 points separates the top two at the moment. It's Racing Bulls currently leading that Constructors' Championship. Then second position is the McLaren team, then 25 points adrift. Then 24 points adrift is the Alpine team of McLaren, and then Williams are a further 9 points adrift as well. Goodness gracious me, 58 points separates the top 4. 81 points separates the top 5. Aston Martin on 609 points then, 23 points away from the Williams team. A big gap between, well, it's not really, it's just under 100 points between Ferrari and Aston Martin, and that's not big at all in the Joint Constructors, to be fair. Kick Sauber on 498 points, 17 points addressed to Ferrari. Haas are on 445, 55 point addressed to Kick Sauber. Red Bull Racing 326 points, 119 addressed. I think that the Red Bull Racing and the Mercedes teams both at the bottom, they're struggling to score this season. It's been a difficult season for both those constructors, and goodness gracious me, I have done all the constructors and constructors, drivers, and all that kind of stuff. So I am absolutely overjoyed with myself. Fantastic. Will there be rain tonight? Then I'm going to be honest. I will bet my bottom dollar that I reckon it will be raining. To be fair, because it always rains in Brazil, doesn't it? More often than not. Then I hope so. Says Knowles. Then a good chance here for at least a good chance here for some rain at least. As Mushroom now trying to slay me down, albeit I did have a great result in Austria reverse the other week, mainly because a lot of drivers pitted and quitted, to be honest, but I'm not complaining about that, of course, because it got me up into 10th. Sadly, Equal's penalty didn't get me up to 9th then, which is a shame. There's me trying to bribe Farfan with a cookie, but sadly that didn't work. Now it's probably the wrong admin as well, which is also why that didn't work, because of course Farfan's not the head honcho of the event league. I think that's Percy and a Coop, as in soup then. So maybe next time I need to bribe, I got to bribe the right person. That's why I failed my anti-bribery test at work a couple of weeks ago. Shocking stuff indeed. So we're just waiting for the final driver to get in then, of course, before we start this Brazilian Grand Prix. And this is a great opportunity to talk about the history of Brazil, isn't it, really? Because we've got a couple of minutes. And this is the 13th running of the Brazilian Grand Prix, or Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And, of course, currently the all-time lap record is still set from Season 6, which is the oldest. No, it isn't. Of course, Season 4 was Canada, I think, for Milan. But Danger Time's got the all-time, got the race lap record around here, which was set in Season 6 then. But of course, the last couple of seasons now, we've had 4 different winners, and Sam Swift Ninja won this race last season, and of course, Percy won in Season 11. Season 10 was Nathan JB, of course, he floated it out, doesn't he? Boxtel then won it in Season 9, and then Season 8, Boxtel then became a double winner. Danger Times, of course, in his championship winning season, won it in Season 7. German in Season 6 and Season 5 for the former world champion of Season 6 out. Emerson, of course, won it in Season 4. Granty Boy, the double world champion from early years in ALR. Fisher won it in Season 2, and Nigel won it in Season 1 then. So we've had a variety of winners in Brazil, and of course, as Jonas said, that's probably a lot due to the to how the weather is so unpredictable around here, and also there's going to be a lot of safety cars in here as well. I'm sure if it's an old school circuit, it's a bit of a bowl circuit as well. It is Brazil, and I would say probably one of the more favoured races on the calendar. And it's of course great to see that Brazil has never missed an ALR Grand Prix in the history of ALR F1 racing, which is superb. Of course, then next week we go to Las Vegas, and of course the boss is not here for 2 weeks in Las Vegas and Qatar, because as we said, then he'll he'll be doing the samba, I think, on the Brazilian beaches, and as he stays here for 2 weeks, as he stays there for 2 weeks, of course, knows he does, and enjoying his holiday, which is cool stuff indeed. But however, then it looks like that we're going to be in a bit of dismay as the admins are, so we don't know what we're going to be doing. Don't worry, Nosy, I'm sure that we've got it covered, or someone's got it covered anyway. But Las Vegas next week, then only our third running of Las Vegas. We didn't race it last season, of course. So Malta won it in season 11, and Troy won it in season 9. And I'm wondering that so that's going to give Immortal some confidence there, which is all good stuff indeed. And Qatar, of course, only raced 4 times in ALR history. Then, of course, Sam Swift Ninja won it the last 2 seasons, 12 and 11. Troy won it in season 10, and Percy won it in season 9. And then, of course, the final race in Abu Dhabi, like Brazil, has never missed a race in ALR's history. And so those are 4 races left, Ben. And I think we've got 20 drivers. Yes, we've got Mayran also popping in as well, of course, which is good to see as well. So Mayran, I don't know, he's in the Alpine as well, so I'm not sure if Alpine have got 1 representative, but that's a shame because we're going to talk about the where's my cursor gone? We're going to be talking about the driver change in just a jiffy, because there's been a lot of them in the last couple of weeks or so, which is a shame, to be honest, isn't it, really? But there we go. Right, Terry Red said 2 of the reserves will be on the podium tonight. I am D and Benedict, of course, stealing my thunder there, Terry. I love it. Evening, Rusty Nuts. Serious Russia says could play a part in the championship as well, says Jenna. Right then, as we go on to the pre-race, and of course, as I mentioned, it was a bit of a dust bowl then. Round 7 dust bowl. Sorry, I'm in Hungary. It is a bit of a bowl kind of circuit, isn't it? Brazil is, and of course, very old school as well. Of course, back on the F1 calendar back in 1991. Of course, when we took these images, it was bouncing down. I can tell you at the moment, I do not know if it's raining because the lobby's still loading up. But of course, Brazil, there's 2 distinctive sectors around here. It's a blast down into the center, and from Youngsao, which I think has turned 60, then down into the is it the Petro Acosta or something like that? No, I think I'd say MotoGP driver, isn't it, Acosta? But yes, so I don't know if it's rated yet there, but that was the scenes when we did our lovely track guide about several months ago as well. Good stuff indeed. There's a few in here, says Jinner. Absolutely, there are. Then, of course, so let me quickly go through the for the Super Sunshine and this lovely sunshine, as you can tell it in the background there, as you got the marshals even with their shorts on as well. I love men in short shorts. Right, it looks a bit wet, says Jenna. That's just a pre-race thing from Thursday. So yeah, we got of course, Sravashta, of course, making his 8th appearance tonight. Then, of course, Rahmati, then, who is now a full-time driver in Alpine, but not racing tonight. Brooksy has stepped up to be the 2nd Ferrari driver. So, for hopefully, that'll get Ferrari a couple more points then. So, those are the changes at the moment. Potstuff has replaced the former world champion Troy in the Williams. So, Potstuff has only made 1 race appearance so far. So, those are the driver switches then over the past couple of weeks or so. It's a shame, really, isn't it? But there we go. There we go. It showed a rain cutscene, says Jinner. Yeah, it did, to be honest, because I couldn't be bothered to restart the thing when I was doing the trap maps and all that stuff. My rain in the race, though, says Noel, says I have confidently predicted that will happen. As Morris out on circuit, and I must say, I think it just really sums up Morris's season, doesn't it, really? Of course, I think that one race where he was looking forward to this season was Kota Circuit in America last week. Only 1 point in his account this season for Morris, but unfortunately missed it because he did a 12 or 24 hours stream, the Dutch stream then, which is pretty impressive in on his own. Right, I struggled to do 2 hours on a Sunday and a Monday. On board with Benedict then, making their debut tonight in the McLaren Mercedes. So good. Exciting to see from Benedict, and let's see how it goes. And of course, IMD as well, making their 2nd appearance in Grand Prix racing here in ALR Formula 1. And remember, I keep saying I am a D. I'm a D then, of course, in that Mercedes, and was making a major nuisance of himself last week then, which is really cool stuff indeed. Yellow flags out there, so just watching the pit lane because I'm trying to figure out who's in the Haas, which is Morris, and going down into the center S of turn 1. Is it raining or not, EA, says Aquels. To be fair, Morris is going very tight out of turn 3 there, and I must admit then, I wonder if he would have lost time now, actually, coming down the Retro Aposta. I think that's what it's called anyway. Morris taking too much curb and spinning off, and almost, he's damaged the car, unfortunately, and he's coming back on circuit, and Benedict is going to have a bit of surprise there. He has had a surprise. There's a Ferrari crawling on the outside of turn 4 as well. I'm looking for Benedict, and here is Benedict now, of course, making their debut tonight. Good job, Sean, not going to Brazil. He burns under the moonlight. I do indeed. That's why I'm a werewolf. I don't come out. I don't come out a lot then, of course, which is sad. I'm 12 basically. I'm a vampire, really. Benedict's coming out of Jung Sao, or is it Jung Kao? I've always said Jung Kao, to be honest, because I'm sure that Murray Walker said it when I first started watching F1. And to be honest, there I can't change my ways now, as I'm getting quite a grumpy old man. Coming over the grid hatch as well. As a unique as Benedict goes fast on an 8.354. What does that compare to last season's pole position time? As Van Bon, of course, recovering from a broken. Is he got a broken foot or a broken? He's got a broken something, hasn't he? And that's why he missed the last week's race. That compares to 06909, which was last season's pole position time. Then, so we are. Well, we're not a second off it now. Then is Travasta is currently gone fastest so far in the Alpine machine. There, good stuff indeed. Then side rain that is. Then welcome to ALR Bronze, the dry edition. Says Real Ashton. Look at all the cars that are going down the Retro Aposta here. Goodness gracious me! As you can tell, I watched a classic Brazilian race from a couple of years ago. I think it was 2006, Schumacher's last race for Ferrari. Of course, a great race that was. Great race as well. But I was in a championship winning race, championship defining race then. And of course, not this one tonight isn't going to be either. As someone's doing a bit of lawnmower in there. That's D. As Dylan currently 7th fast. As Benedict is down in 8th position at the moment. Here's Flippy then, of course, further in the championship. What a debut from Flippy. He's actually been at 4th in the championship. What a debut this man has had then. Him and Brabant, two legends of silver, of course, 2 champions of silver as well, and maybe we'll fall in the steps of German, of course, the season 6 world champion, who won in silver in season 4 or 3 or something like that, maybe 5 actually. No, German was champion season 7, wasn't he, or season 6, maybe season 6. Flippy goes third fastest at the moment. So yeah, Van Bon then just recovering after breaking a bone, whether that's in the hand or foot, I do not know. But there it is. Right, hello to Cameron, and hello, good luck all racers as well then. Pope Benedict says Serious Mushroom is a Pop Stuffer, powers up the hill as well. And Pot Stuff, I was actually looking at his stats earlier on then, and I was quite surprised that as Pot Stuff goes 10th fastest at this moment in time. Brooksy, very competitive in the 11th position at the moment. Equals just coming down the Retro Aposta then. Here comes Tulu in the Mercedes, but unfortunately Tulu there has invalidated. Mercedes have got no full-time drivers then. Once again, unfortunately then, it's even though they have scored, both of them started 12 and 13 races respectively, so I'm going to get off my high horse for one moment there, but of course I'll get back on my high horse in just a jiffy. Yeah, Potstuff has only raced twice in gold, then of course last week, and of course the only other race he raced in was actually back in season 8 of Azerbaijan. Benedict's already left the session. Now that's not ideal for Benedict. Hopefully he can get himself back in the car ASAP. Here comes Equals. Great race last week for Equals, or was it the week before? But as he now powers up the hill as well then for Equals. He's had a decent season for Equals' standards, but of course it's not his best season. Of course that would be season 9 where he finished 6th. And he's 7th on the grid today. Pot Stuff in 11th position on there. It's Lucas Percy, the former world champion from season 9, hoping to become a constructors champion in the not too distant future. Percy's already a 2-time constructors champion, and he could become a 3-time constructors champion this season, and Immortal will become a 2-time constructors champion as well. But that is, as I told him, Immortal is currently fast at the moment. Aiming for his 32nd pole position of his career, which is absolutely sublime, isn't it? Mortal has been pretty much an expert of his craft in qualifying over recent years, but then this season, well, towards the end of last season and this season, he's been absolutely supreme in terms of getting the race wins, which is pretty impressive indeed. Bravo across the line goes second fastest there, 0.2 of a second away from the benchmark, which is Immortal at present. Here comes Tulu coming up to the line as well then, as let me stop picking my nose then, because which is a disgusting that bit. By the way, I'm not picking my nose as Tulu goes 6 fastest. I've got something stuck in there. And it's not what you think it is. As into the pits comes Mayran, then of course Mayran there, a bit of getting his eye in maybe for tomorrow night's race in silver. Here's Nosey then coming down out of the pine tree, and it just accelerated away then. As we've also got good luck pot stuff. Says Hammer Time, of course Hammer Time, a former champion on his own right in the Cobalt era of ALR, when we had a league on a championship on Wednesday, didn't we? Of course, Cobalt. Of course, I think we only had 2 seasons in Cobalt, didn't we? Of course, Hammer Time and Umavro were the 2 champions there. Off the top of my head, anyway. Across the line there comes Knowles, and it goes 13th fastest for the Williams driver. Knowles is very much flirting with relegation. He's been flirting with relegation for the last couple of years then, but this is looking very difficult indeed. Then Benedict has lost connection. Re-invite, please, sir. If we can, so hopefully Benedict can get himself back in the car ASAP. Then, of course, the man who will be hosting the lobby will get that invite out momentarily. Then I would do it, but I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing in this lobby, to be fair. I can barely work the spectator menu. Across the line comes Van Von, and Van Von pole position there, a 6.9 then for Van Von. And has that matched pole position from last season? I hear you ask then. It has not then. He's 600 of a second away from last season's pole position. So for goodness gracious me, they're quick out from the gates here. Excuse me. Oh, incredible stuff indeed. I hope I haven't muted myself there as I was trying to cough. Cam goes 8 fastest there. Cam has got a good history around here. And then Nameless there is just coming out of the box now. D then is a 10th of a second down. Hopefully Dan Benedict can get himself back in it momentarily then, as he now powers up the hill as well. No, mate, it's me, Sweet. Oh! Well, no, that's put me in my place, hasn't it? Well, Sweet could potentially become champion in silver, can he? My goodness me. To be fair to me, there used to be a player called Hammer Time, didn't there? It's a quarter of a second improvement there for IMD. There we go then. Shocking stuff indeed there, of course. False identification potentially for Sweet, or it could be me being too clever for my boots, which is probably the second option. Soundswift Ninja, 4th at the moment there, of course. A lot of pressure on Soundswift Ninja at the moment, and of course, as he is trying to fight to keep himself in the championship. Currently 3-time world champion, season 10, 11 and 12 world champion. Soundswift Ninja has, of course, the most successful driver in ALR history. Has really rewrit the history books, hasn't he, as the world champion. But mission critical now though for the champion, as he needs to get some points on the board. Here comes Pot Stuff. Benedict in 16th position now, hoping that you come back in pronto. He can join on an ode invite, says Sir's Mushroom. You better be right, Mushroom. Of course, we all count on you to be right in these comment section there. Delano going down Magulio the dive. Well, it's 11 seconds off the pace there, as it looked very leisurely. Did it 7 minutes ago in this qualifying session? We're half distance here. Benedict is requesting an invite on Discord. Sean has a Mars bar stuck up his nose, says Serious Mushroom. Righty then, how do I do this? Okay, here we go. Whoops. Invite. Gosh, here we go. Deary me. Right, give me a second. How do I invite people? Ignore my thingy for the minute. Oh gosh. Right then. What's his name? IX or is it XI? Hang on. Where's my thingy coming? I apologise profusely, guys. 1 second. Drivers tab. Go down. Press X. No, that's not it. Yeah, no, it's R. It's XI. XI. Nope. Ben. E. There he is. Oh, fantastic. Right, hopefully this is the right person. Oh. Nope. Oh, yes. What? Right. Let me add as a friend. Send a friend request, and hopefully I can invite him in just a minute. Then, good stuff. Unless he's already got in, then I do not know. To be fair, right then. I do not have a Mars bar on my nose, by the way. How dare you? Equal's in currently 11th position on the grid. Toulouse dropped down into 9th. Percy, 2300 a second up in the first sector time. Brabbit out there, coming out to the Ducks build. I think that is, and flipping across the line to start us up. Now look at how far the car is off the circuit there. there. As Immortal currently second fast at the moment. So Flippy, who is crawling back to the pits, currently third at the moment. Is currently third at the moment. And so Flippy has now Immortal coming down, rest of Apostle. Van Von currently on pole position still. 3600 second up in the first sector time. Brabbitt's gone up into second fastest there. Just a whisker away from Van Von, who's currently on pole position. And I'm sure that Van Von was very close to pole position last year, actually, was still the year before. That's just my memory going there, which is never a good thing then to rely on my memory. I apologise. I thought Van Von was on pole here, but no, he wasn't. Of course, it was believe it or not, this man on pole position last season, which basically he's been on pole position more often than not, hasn't he? Especially around the various circuits that ALR usually visits. And going down into Magulio, the dive, and look at how much battery power that Mortal's got left here. He's 4 seconds down now, so I think that I wonder if he's doing a second bite of cherry. He's back short, fantastic. Toulouse is currently 8th fastest then in the Mercedes car, then go to set himself on his journey. Knowlesy currently 15th at the moment. Oh yeah, there he is. He's back in the lobby then. I've got to say, that was all me. No one else there. Cough. Right then, here comes Benedict. Oh, Benedict's got dropped off. Just got out of Knowles' wedding. Let's go on board with the former Grand Prix winner. Of course, 3-time Grand Prix winner is at Knowles, and of course he loves me to talk about the story of Austria in season 1 and season 2, where Knowles was pretty impressive actually, but sadly the rain came at the wrong time there for Alexander, and robbed him of a win, and also robbed Dan Murphy of second position in both races as well. It's a carbon copy, those two races were, and of course we did do a reversed Austrian race on Wednesday, which I gotta say I really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping we get some reverse races on the official grid, on the official calendar next season. But of course that ain't down to me. If it was down to me, what would I do? I don't know, to be honest. I would have 22 cars on the grid. I would probably ban I'll probably ban Mushroom from the chat because I know he's invalidated, as there's not much going on out there at the moment. At this moment in time, then what else would I do if I was in charge? Interesting. Everyone would have to wear t-shirts with me on there. So we've got Van Von currently just out on circuit at the moment. Currently, in terms of this season's pole position form book, well, you've only got to look at one. But Immortal's already got the most pole positions this season, which of course stands at 9 then. 2 pole position for Sam Swift Ninja, 1 pole position for Flippy, 1 pole position for Van Von as well. Immortal's been on pole position in every race since the Dutch Grand Prix. So in the last 4 races, Immortal has been on pole position. He's basically reserved that pole position just for him alone. Here's Brooksy in 19th position in the second Ferrari. Benedict is just the car in front of him then, as Brooksy's got the Ollie Behrman helmet design. Love that stuff indeed. Nice drift from Immortal, says Serious Mushroom. Luckily Serious Mushroom was catching that whilst I was waffling away. Sam Swift Ninja, the champion, is out on circuit now. Critical laps in these are for Sam Swift Ninja. Also Immortal out on track as well. Then coming out of Mugulio then, and now into Young Cow. He's found a quarter of a second. It's not enough to get in front of Benedict at the moment, but he has got a lot of deployment as he powers up the hill. Then he needs a lot of horses in that Ferrari. Then DRS and almost runs wide, and he's in the pits and abandons his time there. Oh my goodness me, then as I build it all up to let it all go, and unfortunately Brooks, Sam Swift Ninja's invalidated. Oh dear. Time is of the essence now for Sam Swift Ninja. Cam is found out just under a 10th per second coming down the Retro Aposta then. ALR and Darts, at least one Luke will win tonight then, but can the Lukes win in ALR, says Real Ashton. On board with Cam then, has gone white then, and that's how I think that he'll be kicking himself out in the car. So that was a bit lazy on the steering wheel there. Morris on 13th position there, just starting his lap. Delando into a superb 16th position, and that was earlier on in the race as well. Here comes the championship leader from Silver, Mayran then out of Young Cow, then powering up the hill then as he climbs up to 150, 160, 170 miles an hour. Then DRS, and he'll go up to 190, and now coming into the line with a very distant sister. He chooses not to use it. He goes as fast as the Alpine driver does. And why are we shocked about that? We shouldn't be shocked about that. That man is quicker than a hiccup. Brooksy's out of qualifying and will start last on the grid in his first official race as a Ferrari driver. Oh, my word then. Percy down in seventh position, then Sam Swift Ninja is going for a second bite of the cherry, but look at that then, he's not pushing at the moment. Flippy is not pushing either. There's a lot of outlaps out there at the moment. Immortal then flinging flinging it into the horseshoe. I don't think that is the horseshoe, is it? I need to really read up on the corner names, don't I? Benedict then, who is only been able to do one lap there. Morris into a superb 8th position there, found just under half a second and has gone in front of the silver championship leader. Morris has, hoping to get some decent points here tonight in that Haas machine. Currently 8th on the grid then for the Haas driver. What about Tulu then coming up to the... No, Tulu's not coming out to the line then, but Sam Swift Ninja is now coming to the line now and is starting his final run. He has done 3 laps on these soft tyres. That's not ideal, is it? It's Van Bon's back on pole position. He improves by just under half a second. An Immortal pole position and a new... and it was faster than last season's pole position time for Mortal, and that is the benchmark. Van Von had it by just about a couple of seconds before Mortal stormed through and is currently on pole position for the 10th time of this season. Can anyone stop him? Flippy is going for one more run, one more shot in this one. Savasta out on circuit there in the technical part of the lap there. We've got an Aston Martin crawling. What about the other Mercedes that goes 9th fastest? Cam is down in 11th in the end there for Cam. I was expecting a bit of Savasta's lost. That's in Brabham's pole position. I don't think Brabham's been on pole position this season. He hasn't, but he's on pole position by 200ths of a second. Is the Haas car. I am D then powering up to the line as well in the Mercedes car. Someone else has jumped over. I think that was I don't know who it was. I'm D goes into 11th position. Wow, incredible stuff indeed. Sam Swift Ninja stays 7th, does not improve, and even had a tow from his teammates there. Sam Swift Ninja, we disappointed that then. Flippy coming out of Young Sal then. What about Percy? Percy's moved himself up to 3rd position. We missed that whilst we was Brabberton on. About Brabbett, who is currently on pole position. Flippy coming to the line. Is he going to spoil Brabbett? No, he hasn't. And I think it could be Brabbett pole position. Is anyone else improving out there? Benedict is on the lap then. Benedict's on his lap. Part stuff is on an in lap as well. So currently can Benedict on his debut tonight then spoil Brabbett's party? This is going to get very interesting indeed then. Brabbett's only ever had one pole position in his career so far. He hasn't had pole position this season. There's a car in front of us. I think that was a Ferrari. It was a Ferrari then, and that Ferrari is going to be able to tow him. No, Benedict's in the pits, and it is Brabbett pole position, number 1 of the season, number 2 of his career. Brabbett on pole position then for the Brazilian Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Because, of course, I think it's now called the Sao Paulo Grand Prix and not the Brazilian Grand Prix. Politics and all that thing, all that jazz, I believe. But never mind. Brabbett's on pole position. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Brabbett. Number 1 of the season. Immortal was on course to get his 10th pole position, but Brabbett has rained on his parade there with an incredible time there from Brabbett there. Magnificent stuff indeed. Pole position. Immortals alongside him on row 1 there. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed, and that would be Haas's first pole position of the season as well by 20 hundredths of a second. Separates the top 2. Separating the top 4 is 46 hundredths of a second there. So it is Brabbett pole position with Immortal alongside on row 1. Percy in 3rd position. Van Von in 4th there. 2/10 of a second separates Flippy with Savasta, who's not in the lobby. Well, hopefully he get back in. Sam Swift Ninja down in 7th with Morris out. Toulouse, the highest Davidson in 9th position and reserve driver 9th there, and Nameless completes the top 10. D in 11th position in the second Mercedes, and may run the silver championship leader in 12th position. While you're picking on me, just wait, says Serious Mushroom. Well, as long as you've got that set up ready for Wednesday, then that's all that matters. You're fast, says Equal. Said, not ice lap there from Percy too, says Serious. Oh my word, it is raining. I need a drink. Oh my gosh, I should put the ovens on whilst I was doing that, should I really? Shocking stuff indeed. Evening says Langston. Good evening to you, my good man. Of course, so we do have a bit of rain. Then we had a bit of rain in the build-up as well, didn't we? Of course, and that was pre-recorded on Thursday. And of course, And of course, Sarah, it looks like that the rain has come back with vengeance here tonight. There, lovely sunshine in that qualifying race trim. Now is something different. And Sam Swift Ninja, 41 points adrift of Immortal. Then in the last couple of races, Immortal has had a bit of a bumpy ride. Then only scored 12 points compared to Sam Swift Ninja scoring 43. So Sam Swift Ninja has had a late renaissance in the championship, but he needs more. He needs Immortal to have another couple of bad races. And intermediate tires looks to be the way to go. The track is not saturated by the looks of things. Get in, you pesky rabbit, there, says Serious Mushroom. Who went with a quali setup and who went with a rain setup then? A race setup in the rain now, says Juno. And of course, the question I got is, is the setup that different between wet and dry races? Then is the question I want to know. Then, of course, get your answers in the comment section, because then I can then screenshot that and use it for my event, for the event on Wednesday. Of course, there. Admin's got a big meeting I think this week. I can't remember if it's Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday. Mainly because I think Knowlesy wants to make sure that we all behave whilst he's away, because of course when the cat's away, the mice will play, and of course. And we all know what Favre's like, especially when it all goes to pot when Favre from me gets around anyway. But hopefully we're going to be very well behaved this time. Yes, of course, also the big meeting, of course, with the governance of ALR will be very interesting to see that, of course, the future of ALR and what was going to be on the table as well. Then about ideas about going forward and things like that, because of course one of the big contentions about this season, or my biggest contention, because it really has to make my brain work when I'm doing the championship stand-ins, is about the amount of reserves that are going in and the amount of drivers that are just coming and going. Hey, says Bob, good evening to you, my good sir. Us behave never, absolutely, of course. I've got to be honest, I think Knowlesy is quite worried. Right, let's go through the grid, shall we, from front to back. To be fair, Smithy has kept us in line in the recent seasons. Absolutely, but of course Smithy is now a bit above us, isn't he? Of course, being a champion, being a major championship contender in bronze, and a multiple constructors champion as well. I think he's got the most championships out of anyone in the admin team, or the original admin team anyway. I think Percy now has slightly more. Let's go for the grid a bit quick. Brabbit pole position. Alongside Brabbit is Immortal with Percy in third. Fourth is Van Von. Fifth position is Flippy in that McLaren. Sebastian's not in this race. That's not good at all. Sam Swift Ninja is letting the drivers in front of him go ahead, so that then those tires are going to cool down. 8th is Morris. 9th position is Tudu. 10th position is Nameless with D in 11th position. Problems for Mayran. It's not taking the formation up. Cam in 13th with Equals in the 14th position. Benedict in 15th. Didn't have a fair shot at qualifying because some ginger guy, me, couldn't understand how to invite someone. Legends in 16th. Pot Stuff and Knowlesy 17th and 18th, with Ferrari 19th and 20th. Then a difficult day then for two historic teams on the Formula 1 grid. Then someone is spamming me hearts. I love it. Keep giving those hearts to me then. Of course, I need them for Valentine's Day as well. As the lights are going to be coming on. Look at the top of your screen. You'll see those lights. There they are. We have 3, we have 4, we have 5, and it's going to be action in Brazil. Let's go. And a good drag down into turn 1 then. And Bravick cuts across Immortal. Immortal's under pressure from his teammate. And Van Von then is going very attacking right from the get-go. As he goes down into turn 1, it's very lightweight at the moment. Benedict's had a terrible start for the McLaren, and he's driven down the order. We've had a lot of comings and goings. Immortal and Percy all over each other there. I'm wondering if Percy's going to let his teammate go and not challenge for him. But Bravin's had the perfect start as we come down to the restaurant pasta for the first time. And hopefully they'll do what Barrichello, hopefully they won't do what Barrichello did in the 2001 Grand Prix, where he smashed into the back of Raul Schumacher as they quals up and finish. A great start for Aquarels. A terrible start there for Tilly. It's Immortal. Well, just as I said, oh, there's a clout, and there's Debris gone off for the championship leader. Immortal's driving down the order, and Samshift Ninja is alongside his championship rival. And my goodness gracious me, and now as Immortal has gone from the front row of the grid down into 6th position there. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's the championship charge. They get a bit too much for Immortal now. It's goodness gracious me, as we go down into Magulio the diver, as Toulouse is right at the back of of the field, and what's happened? The Mercedes driver recovering, but it's getting all hairy in the midfield there. Benedict have the inside of the Ferrari, but there's no dice there going into Young Sao. That one completed. Look at the gap there. It's half a second already from Percy in second position. Third position is Van Von with Flippy, Samstrip and Ninja, followed by Immortal, who's had a horror show of a start. Morris, 77th position there. Into the pits comes Savasta, as I'm not sure if Savasta's racing or not there. Up the inside goes Cam, and D is on the inside actually into the centre. D might go up and under them, but at the moment Cam has got the high line there. It is only light rain at the moment there. I reckon we could switch to slick tyres quite quickly. It depends on how quickly this rain comes and goes, and as we have a duel down into the, down as there's contact between the two cars, as Cam there is forcing, just about gives a Mercedes car's length fed, as my goodness gracious me, as there's intermediate tyres gone on to the two drivers of pit, which is Savasta and Tulu. Unfortunately, Delando and Potstuff have swapped positions. Delando's having a storming rain through the field, and he's having to 19th position in that Ferrari. Great drive so far from the former bronze champion. Superb stuff indeed there from Delando. No DRS, of course, so it's going to be a bit of old school then to begin with here. Brabbit then, his gap was over 1.2 seconds. The gap is already shrunken down. Legends and Nameless have swapped positions. We've also got yellow flags. So what's happened? Mayran's had a horror show of a start and dropping down the order. We've all got a very bunched up part of the field in the midsection here, as D has got past Cam, and Cam is going to be feeling very vulnerable, as Daniel Ricciardo likes to see him vulnerable. What about Legends, as Brabbit set the fast line of the race, but that's been quickly eclipsed by Percy, who wants a Grand Prix win in these final four seasons. And well, just as I say, it's going to get drier. Look at that rain. You can actually see it's getting heavier here in Brazil as you go down into the centre race. That is, I think that's much heavier rain than what we had at the start of the race, as the puddles are sploshing here. And my goodness gracious me, we might have to see the wet tyres out there, but of course it needs to get a lot heavier than that. But at the moment then, it is certainly not anywhere near the dry tyres that I was surmising. What has happened? And look at this, there's contact. Van Von is fighting with Flippy. Flippy cuts across the Red Bull driver and up into fourth position. Magnificent stuff indeed. Soundtrip Ninja has gone from 7th on the grid to 3rd in the opening 3 laps here. Fantastic stuff from the world champion. He is not giving up, is he? And why would he then? It's not over, is it? Immortal down in 6th position. A horror show start for Immortal. Soundtrip Ninja's been struggling in qualifying. Immortal in the recent couple of races struggled in the race, hasn't it? Car 9, Soundstrip Ninja, is now then started to really find his feet in this Grand Prix, and once again then driving superbly well, coming out of Magulio the dive. Currently the gap is 41 points there for Sanchez Ninja. Today, Racing Bulls cannot win the Constructors' Championships. They're 2 points adrift. But I think the Sanchez Ninja is going to be more concerned about the drivers at the moment. But as it stands, the Racing Bull team will not win. Well, they're going to win anyway. There's no championships on the line here tonight. And look at Morris. Immortal's got no pace there. Look at this. And it's now Morris is going to go for it in the center S. He has a look there. But I think a bit too far back at the moment. Immortal is really struggling up there. There's major issues there. So far for Immortal, the championship leader is in peril in the opening stages here. As you can see, there is a dry line starting to form ever so slightly then, as Morris having a sniff, but nothing more than that as we go into turn 4. Nothing to do just yet, as they're all status quo out there at the moment. Savasta is in the race, but all the way down the field. Brooksy's down the order as well, because up the inside goes Mayran, passes the Ferrari driver. Brooks is going to go up and under, no dice at the moment there. We've also got Knowlesy all over the back of Benedict as well. Of course, this is Benedict's debut racing. So Percy, the best way now, because I was thinking that maybe Percy was going to keep behind Immortal and just like guard him, but that's not the case. Then of course we're not sure what happened, but I think Immortal made a mistake there at turn 6 or 7, and then he just was hung out to dry, wasn't he? And of course, then in this brutal world of Grand Prix racing, there he wasn't going to be allowed back in, was he? And because of that, then Percy had to get past. And the best way for Percy to help his teammate now is to make sure that Sam Swift Ninja does not get the full shebang at 25 points. There is the green machine in the background. Sam Swift Ninja gaining. And they set the fastest up for the race as well. My goodness me, Flippy in 4th. Van Von in 5th position. Immortal is now starting to find some grip in this race. Van Von is about 2 seconds back at the moment, as he is all over the gearbox of that Red Bull. Well, not anymore. He's going alongside, and goodness me, that is very deadly. And look at Morris straight from the inside, and it's taken both there. 2 for the price of 1. That's a great maneuver. Immortal on the inside, he clatters the Red Bull out of the way. Oh, that's getting argy-bargy there, isn't it? Morris, what a maneuver. Sadly, we didn't have the best camera angle, and I did realise it far too late, but Morris has driven driven around both of them on the inside whilst they were struggling to get grip on the outside of turn 3. Morris is thrown up into 6th position there. Van Von will probably be feeling a bit aggrieved by how Immortal just barged his way out of the way there, so he's not going to be too happy with that, is he? That might go to the stewards, but as it stands at the moment, he has to clear his mind there, and he needs to really get the maximum points there. But of course, Van Von there has of course, he's got damage, hasn't he? Was that from Immortal, or was that earlier on then? Oh dear, goodness me. So Van Von is not going to be impressed at all, as and that is why he might be slow then. I'm not sure if he got damaged earlier on the race then, or if that was the clash with Immortal. We'll have to remains to be seen there. Soundswift Ninja is less than a second back now. Here comes Qualshead now starting to come through, and he is now up into 7th position, passes his teammate, and away he goes then, up into 7th position now. My goodness gracious me. Here is Soundswift Ninja. He's all over the gearbox now. Soundswift Ninja is very much is energized, and 43 points he has scored in the last 2 races compared to Immortal's 12, and really Soundswift Ninja in the latter stage of this championship is really it's not going down without a fight. He has dismissed his chances, but goodness me, I'm going to keep asking him every week then, because he is just driving superbly well in the last couple of races there. Jitter saying it did look like Immortal wouldn't be there for. It did look like he turned in like Immortal wouldn't have been there from his point of view, says Jitter. So what am I saying? I don't know, to be honest. But so that Jitter feels that maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill potentially, which I do like to do. I do like a bit of drama then. We talked about wet setups, wasn't we, at the beginning of the program? Not by too much not by too much higher wings then, about 5-ish raise then, says Jenner. Of course, raid the ride height by 1 or 2, lower the diff in terms of the wet setups then, and that's still, in terms of F1 cars, I think that's still quite a big change though, isn't it, compared to the dry. And the clouds are getting, I would say, getting a bit darker out there. So we could see as Delando is chasing Nameless, and not quite there, down into the centre S there, as Delando is driving superbly well, isn't he? He's absolutely flying in this Ferrari at the moment. Superb stuff indeed there from the Ferrari driver. And of course, Delando then has had a difficult season, hasn't he? But goodness gracious me, there he is not giving up his heels. The Ferrari having a look there, and potentially this is going to be a race there where potentially Delando is going to thrive on the chaos. I'm sure of it as well. Same as teammate Brooksy. But of course, this is going to get very juicy indeed. We've also got Soundswift is about a second and a lot faster than at the moment. There says Jenna. Then how come I go fetch a cuppa and something happens? Bug off, says Serious Rush. Of course, in terms of the 2 for the price of 1. From Morris, who probably got to submit that as a driver as the overtaking the season, surely. Incredible stuff indeed. Raise the diff and put the car in reversal. AI, says Serious Mushroom. Shocking stuff indeed. Then that's why he didn't know how to race it in Imola, because Mushroom kept pressing start, of course, in the event league. Shocking stuff indeed. Anyway, right. Anyway, I feel caught up with the comments. I am indeed. Then let's carry on then, shall we? Ooh, what's going on here? Then? As I look up and the legends there, it looks like he was defending fresh air potentially, and that's going to really intrigue legends there to maybe have a snip and get past. They're going into turn 1, not quite there, as going down into the centre. I must say, especially that camera angle there, it does look like the rain is quite heavy. Then in other parts of the circuit, it does look like it's quite light. This race is quite congested, and the top 3 are congested as well. They are very close to the back of each other. Now Brabant is struggling for pace, and now Percy's caught, and now Soundswift Ninja is caught as well as we go down into turn 4. Is it going to go up and under? Not quite then. Legends can't get through. Of course, Kickstarter does have an outside chance of the Constructors' Championship. Still, Debris came off the back of Dilando's car there. I think it was the curve there that he just clattered, unfortunately. As you can see just in front of us, we've got the Mercedes of D. Then Van Von, who is really struggling. That damage on the Red Bull is really harming him, isn't it? Unfortunately, I'm not sure where he got it from. Then we'll have to worry about that after the race. Then, but Van Von, then of course, as I mentioned, he didn't race it the last week or 2 because of injury. So I don't think so. He's going to be in a lot of pain, and now also he's going to be in further pain because of the issues he's got with that front nose cone, unfortunately. as they're on board with Sam Swift Ninja. No DRS just yet. I do not know if the rain is clearing up or it's going to get worse. So as it stands, then you're going to have to really use the grunt of the engine there behind the drivers up back there, as Cam is into the pits there. And look, there is Flippy there. He is gaining as well. And of course, so we got 2 Ferraris and we got a Honda, well, a Red Bull powertrain Honda. Then so those are the engines then that are going to be fights at the top of this as well. Flippy is now in a second as well. And I don't think Sam Swift Ninja wants Flippy to be a part of this, because I think that Sam Swift Ninja is going to be keeping an eye on Flippy, especially next season, and Immortals as well, surely, because I think that Flippy is going to be a major factor in the World Championship next season. Love the helmet design, by the way. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. As Legends is now into the top 10, but that's because of Van Von's pit stop there. Into the pits comes Toulouse, and Toulouse having a second pit stop after just 9 laps there. So issues there for, and out to the Grand Prix on his debut there for Toulouse. So not a good start then to Toulouse, unfortunately, and out of the race, unfortunately. So 1 retirement in this one. I think he's worrying about the damage during the race, says Jitter. As powering up the hill as well then, as we got, as Flippy has dropped back by 0.2 of a second then, the McLaren driver has, as now going over the start-finish line as well. So so Brabbitt still leads then, as the gap was extended by a second now. They was very close together in the last couple of laps, but that has extended now. But look at Delano. He's all over the gearbox of Nameless, and Nameless, and I'm not sure if he's hard so fast the rain light. I think it's the rain light. He's going close, and they're going wheel to wheel down into the centre S, and he's going for it. Delano, he has a look. Nameless just about gives him a card whip. And Nameless, goodness gracious me, great driving from Nameless, who's on a really good run of form. Delano's now starting to find some run of form and driving superbly well here in Sao Paulo. It's great to see Delano on form then, and he's going to have a look down into turn 4. There's yellow flags out here for the ALR Mercedes out of the Grand Prix of Toulouse, and that is unfortunate to say the least for the Mercedes. You might see, no, he's gone. So the marshals are just wheeling him out then, and away he goes then. Van Von then currently in 18th position then, 10 seconds adrift of Nosey, who is not pitted. It depends on what depends on the rain and the weather forecast that is going to be happening in the drivers. Of course, in the driver's team then, and deciding on what are they going to go on. Of course, if it's continuing to rain, they're going to have to stay on the intermediate tyres for as long as possible. But can the intermediate tyres do a whole race distance? I don't think they can. It's going to be a roll of the dice. But of course, in these wet weather conditions, you now do not have to use 2 types of compounder tyres. You can use the Sam Swift Ninjas once again. Really starting to step it up then with another fastest up then. In these wet weather conditions, because you've used intermediate or wet tyres, you do not have to use now 2 different types of dry compound tires. And here comes Sam Swift Ninja. He is gaining on person. Is he going to have a look then? This is, no, he isn't then going down into turn 4. He decides better of it then. Oh, goodness gracious me. Equel said just getting out of the spray there of Immortal. He's really struggling in these conditions at the moment there. Is it rain? I think it must be rain affected there, mustn't it? Because as Van Von is set to pass on race, because of course because Immortal was quite quick in qualifying, wasn't there? Was almost close to getting pole position for the 10th time this season. But in the race trim, it is not looking good at the moment though, is it? Unfortunately for Immortal, down in 6th position, about 7 seconds away from Sam Swift Ninja's championship rival then, of course. And that gap is starting to whittle down, isn't it? Starting to whittle down there. Remember, Boxstar was in the championship in season 10, and Sam Swift Ninja was quite a long way back, and he kept eating into that gap then before Boxstar had a nightmare final 6 or 5 races. I remember in Mexico especially, where it just went completely awry for Boxstar, didn't it? And it's the same thing happening now for Walter on lap 12, and we're coming up to half distance in this race. Rain is not abated, and I think it's a steady flow so far. This reminds me, I forgot to go to Toodaloo. Says shocking. As we come down, it's like, look at that. We do have a dry patch, there, don't we? But nowhere near the wet tires, the dry tires yet. Morrison currently in 5th position. Superb drive so far for Morrison, and a good drive indeed for the Haas team as a whole. Lovely stuff indeed. Benedict has passed Knowlesy, going up the inside down into the centre S, as Knowlesy I think might be already in holiday trip. Then I'm sure he's already got his speedos on there in that cockpit. But 17th position at the moment. Look at this, back at the front then. Brabbitt, Percy, Percy, Ninja, all within 5/10 of a second of each other, on board with the world champion now as he spins up those rear tyres as he's trying to tame the beast of the kick Sauber. Look at this, and this is absolutely tough conditions, isn't it? These drivers are very much battling with the elements here, and they look at this, and once again, hacksawing away at that wheel is the kick Sauber. Flippy there just about in touches distance as well. And Mortal is 2 seconds back from Morris at the moment there, and Equals is going to be once again on his case there. Status quo, yellow flag, what's happened? It's Mayran. Mayran's off the circuit, and recovering back now. I cannot see if he's got damage or not. Hopefully we'll get off board of his arm. By the way, lovely helmet design. No, he hasn't got any damage there, as he Mayran is, but struggling in this race so far. Back at the front, and at the moment it's still nothing's changed, to be honest. Has been question is who's going to pit first and gain track position, because at the moment it looks like that as long as you've got track position, then you might be high and dry, maybe figuratively more than literally, but you may be high and dry then in terms of keeping track position then. So maybe pitting first then might be the best way to go. Van Von is setting another fast up for the race then, and he's closing in on Knowlesy as Knowlesy's trying to get past Benedict, but no Dyson won there. Benedict making his debut tonight for the here in Brazil for the McLaren team. Here's Benedict, and he's just trying to get his feet under the table. Oof, my word, incredible stuff indeed. Right, as Nameless is not dropped Delano. I think Delano is just trying to harvest the car before he has another bite. And Knowlesy all over the gearbox of Benedict here. And you can see that Mayran, who's just recovering after an issue on the last lap. So he's recovering as well at this stage. Van Von currently is also cruising up to the back as well. Back at the front then, and this is where it's all to play for. You can see that on the back straight, of course, we do have a lot of undulating circuit on the back straight there. Half of the grid was pointed down, half of the grid is pointed up there. A very unique start, isn't it? Well, it's not really half the grid anymore, it's more of most of the grid is pointing up then. Of course, that was back when we had 26 odd cars on the grid. Brabbit then, followed by Percy, followed by Sam Sifton now then. Goodness gracious me, is anyone going to pit first? I'm wondering if Percy might just roll the dice coming first. What about Flippy? Might do a undercut then, as you can see Debris off of that off of the back of that car, and Mayran's in the pit. And that's a bit. I would say that's very early stop, but again, it depends on the weather, doesn't it? If this rain is staying throughout the race, then possibly the best way to do this is pit on lap 18 and then go to the end. However, of course, if the rain does abate towards the end there, you probably want to have a go on some dry tyres potentially. It's all up in the air. Has have no as a whole. Careful, Sean. Says serious question. How dare you? I would never, don't you sink to my level, Mushroom. Shocking stuff indeed. Coming up the hill as well. Morris are currently 5 seconds away, about 1.6 seconds away. So Mortal's now starting to catch. So as Immortal finally found some pace in that racing ball, but goodness me. So I think all points could be crucial. Van Von has got past Knowlesy. Remember, Van Von was fighting for pole position and was within a twinkle of an eye, a blink of an eye of getting pole position. Was Van Von. And here comes Sandswift Ninja. D is in the pits, and Sandswift Ninja is going for it. He has a look then, as he is going for it now, and he's going up the inside. Not quite there, as Percy is not going to let him through there, is he? My goodness gracious me, then. Of course, Percy wants to win. He has not won a race yet so far this season, and Percy is going to be aiming to win a Grand Prix shortly, isn't he? And of course, old adversary Sandswift Ninja, yellow flag has happened. What has happened there at turn 1? Something has gone awry, and it's Pot Stuff who is crawling by the looks of things, and he is crawling. Pot Stuff has got damage to that front wing and has recovered, but that's a bad problem, as Van Von and Benedict there streaming each other. Savasta has got past D. No, he hasn't there, because D's going to be on the inside, and Savasta, who didn't, I don't think he took the start, or if he did, he didn't prep the car quick. He didn't prep the car because of course he was not in the formation lap there. Never mind the bronze title fight. It's me versus Haas, says Real Ashton Army then. Of course, Real Ashton there, of course, absolutely. And it's like us against the title fight in the 100% there, with me and Musher against the world in 100%. So we feel you, Real Ashton, we feel you. Of course, Real Ashton, I think, is in the Red Bull as well, isn't you? So absolutely, it's a bit of a shocking car, isn't there. It's just on board. Brown again. Into the pits comes Immortal. So Immortal in almost at the first opportunity here, and is now got fresher intermediate tire side. So he's going for the undercut on Morrison. The gap was about 1.5 seconds, so he is well within the undercut there. The undercut is going to be a little different now. It feels to me that the rain is getting heavier there, as Brabbit is struggling to control the car. That's top of the hill. Flippy is now well within a second here. So business is about to pick up in this stage of the Grand Prix on lap 16 out of 36. A lot of lappage around here. One of the higher lappages of the season. I think the highest lappage is Monaco, isn't it? Is this like second or third? I think it is. Hungary's 35, I think, and then this one's 36. So a lot of lappage around here. We've still got 26 odd laps to go in this one. Anything is still possible in this race. But Morris is now 5.5 seconds back at the moment there. Is that coming out of Young Sao? And is any of these drivers going to pit then? No. And none of them do. None of them pit then. So they're all staying out. And I'm wondering then if they're feeling that they might have to keep an eye on the weather at this stage. But they're all staying out. No one is reacting at the moment. And here comes Legends, who's on a strong performance. Where has Immortal come out? He's 3:10 a second. Legends in the pits there. So Legends has taken this stop there whilst his teammate decided not to. Look at this. This is the problem now. As Immortal has come out in traffic there. Van Von there is right behind him as well. He is going for the undercut still. And of course with a lot of his main rivals not as Immortal almost on the grass there. Through he goes. Brooksy has lost 2 positions. Van Von is now back up to 12 position as well. Van Von there too close, too far away though to have a challenge there. I'd say he was too far away, but very close there to the back of Immortal. And who is that coming out of the pits now? It's Legends there coming out of the pits there. Did he have a problem coming out of the pits there? It looks like he is recovering from going wide there. It's a very difficult pit out here. There's a lot of time to gain. There's also a lot of time to lose then. Out in front of D then. There's a bit of sunshine over yonder there, isn't there? That looks a very bright shot then. As we was looking down the restaurant poster on board with Flippy. As Flippy is very much keeping a watching brief out of these top 3 at the moment is Flippy. But we've got a 4-car battle for the Grand Prix lead, which I've got to say we've been seeing a lot of these battles over the past couple of weeks or so. It's been fantastic to see. Nosey there just too far. Into the pits, Brabbit. Into the pits comes Purse as well. This is Sam Swift Ninja's MO. Now then his 2 rivals are pitted, so he's decided to stay out. And he's going to extend his stint now. And let's see how this transpires. So he may lose a bit of time, but will he gain time? Because he has been held up there by the guys in front of him. Brabbit coming out of the pits now. Percy also out of the pits. There's a Red Bull of Equals in the pits in the background. Delano coming out it's just coming in the pits in the Ferrari then. So then as these drivers are coming out of the pits, where's Immortal? Immortal I think is going to be a bit too far back. And now this is going to be the power of the undercut now. Equals coming out of the pits there. Oh, a bit of sliding there. D is set the pass up the race there. Immortal is, goodness me, look at that. Look at that then. This undercut, it's not, I've just splattered all over my camera, all over my phone. Look, unless Immortal had to repair some damage of some kind, Equals is through. He's past Immortal. Immortal's down in 9th position. Goodness gracious me. I thought that would have been an easy pass, but it's not. I wonder if Immortal had to repair damage then. Well, we'll find out that. I do not know if that's the case then. I'll go 2 more laps and pit for instance again, says Serious Russia, as I'm wondering past what Sam Swift and Flippy do. Look at that, Sam Swift has left Flippy in this dust now, hasn't he? And Sam Swift Ninjas now starting to get those qualifying laps in. Brabbit and Percy are also now pushed as well. Pit lane drama, into the pits comes Sam Swift Ninja and Flippy. They're both in the pits now, they're stopping on their marks. Here comes the world champion now. They're the Papaya McLaren mechanics on the pits. Flippy's in, and he's going to change his tyres in. And there he is, and change it onto fresh set of intermediate tyres. He's already away and gone then. Sam Swift Ninja in the pits as well. Kick Sauber then, doing a great job then. Constructors champions from last year. Perfect symmetry there for the Kick Sauber. And out of the pits they come now. Where is Brabbit? There is Brabbit. There is Immortal. And I think they've got through. I think they have got through then, because they're on the inside. As we got a Legends with the fast up the race, and Percy is pushing Brabbit. And now is pushing Brabbit, and he's really done the turn of the wick then. Look who's in front. Nameless, who hasn't pitted yet. 10-second penalty for Benedict for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately, on his debut tonight. As Flippy has lost out to Nameless here. This could be costly. Yes, Nameless has dropped out of position there, but that is 2 seconds that he's lost there. As Percy now knows that this is going to get mission critical. Cam has stayed out and is currently leading this race at the moment. Both Aston Martins extending this stint then. Pit Sam Serious Russia, as indeed he has pitted now then. I've probably read that comment too late then. But yes, Sam Swift Ninja has pitted then. He should have pitted first, says Serious Motion. So Serious Motion thinks that Sound Swift Ninja should have pitted first then and got that track position there. There's Flippy in the back. He's lost 2 seconds on this lap. Cam is staying out at the moment there. As you can see there, I'm sure this rain might be here to stay, you know, because I'm surprised that, yeah, but Cam is staying out. I reckon that the Aston Martin drivers may be wondering if the rain might ease out towards the end of this one. 16 laps to go in this race. So, as Potsdam has got a 3-second penalty, we've not gotten many warnings, have we, to speak about. As Morris up into 6th position. Great drive so far from Morris. Driver of the season so far. Mayron's got a 3-second penalty as well. Immortal from 2nd on the grid, down into 8th position there. And again, then, it's another low-scoring race so far for Immortal. His race is not finished just yet, but again, it's another low-scoring. Oh, I've missed it! Samsung Ninja's through and passes Percy. I've missed it. Oh, goodness gracious me. Oh, terrible directorship. You could tell that I must be going to the school of directorship for where's the last race? Singapore, goodness me. Absolutely shocking stuff indeed. But Samsung Ninja there, who's got fresh on the intermediate tires for 1 lap then, but he came into the pits a lap later and is now pushing honestly. Samsung Ninja and Brabbit is very much in the facility as well. Here, goodness me, look at Flippy. He was 2 seconds back. He's now almost within a second. That's how much they're struggling on pace at the moment with Cam just in front of us here. Cam is going to be an extra problem then for these drivers. Accelerating out of Young Sao again then. And what is Cam going to do? He's going to come in the pits, or is he going to stay out then? On board with Sound Swift Ninja. Cam is coming into the pits. So now then, as you can see then, now Brabbit retakes the lead there, but Sound Swift Ninja then is not going for it yet. Then Flippy sets the fastest up for the race there. Going down into the center S. Oh my goodness gracious me. Incredible racing out there at the moment. Absolutely superb stuff indeed there from all 3-4 of these drivers. And look at Samsung Ninja. He is fighting. Brabbit and Samsung Ninja going wheel to wheel down the restaurant Potter. Robin that cuts across there. He's had 2 moves now down into the turn 4. But in all of the cases, he's going for it. Oh my goodness me. Samsung Ninja on the inside. Brabbit stays on the outside. As once again, his status quo. Percy on the inside. Incredible stuff indeed there. And magnificent stuff. Oh my gosh! And I've got a runny nose. where's me rag? Oh my goodness gracious me! Brabbit, Sam Swift, then followed by Percy, followed by Flippy as well. This is incredible racing by the top 4, isn't it? This Grand Prix, Sam Swift Ninja pressure cooker time, and absolutely incredible stuff indeed. There, Sam Swift Ninja knows that if he is involved in any instant, his championship campaign will be curtains. Of course, he fully used curtains in the last couple of races. And he has been dismissed himself, but potentially putting pressure on Immortal as Percy there is dropped off the back there, and Sam Swift Ninja once again then, as you can see, he's dropped off the back here. Lap 22 out of 36. This is going to be a lot of laps then for Brabbit. Then Brabbit in for his 3rd Grand Prix win. Obviously, Flippy's going through. He's gone off the circuit and over the centre as my word there. As now then back into the front. Then Flippy there has lost a bit of time. Then he may have got a warning as well. As once again, Sam Swift Ninja is coming down the red to a poster, and Brabbit then cuts across it as gets defended and potentially defending fresh air, which may have cost him. Well, Flippy's actually probably should have lost a bit more there, but however he carries on nonetheless. My goodness gracious me, incredible battle at the front here then. One job short, absolutely, and Delano's got a 3-second penalty. That could cost him a potential point scoring finish here tonight. Cam's got a 3-second penalty. That's going to cost him as well, sadly, I feel. Those 2 drivers are on the outer echelons of potentially getting some points here tonight. 1 retirement on lap 22. Percy is on board with now in the racing ball, and currently his teammate languishing down in 7th position. Immortal's got no pace at all here tonight in Brazil. Then it's been a horror show for Immortal. No mistakes. He's just been lacking pace, hasn't he, the championship leader? And again, Sam Swift Ninja is whittling that gap down once again, and that gap is getting very dangerously close to coming under a Grand Prix win now. As Brabbit leads, still there, Sam Swift Ninja in second. Wonder if Sam Swift Ninja is now revving up to have another go then. Of course, we missed the overtake there, which that against Immortal's teammate. Into the pits comes Van Volden, then going for a 2-stopper after pitting very early. Here comes Sam Swift Ninja again then, and Brabbit again going defense there. So Sam Swift Ninja's going to go, going to stay on the racing line then. He may go up and under here. He's got so much more pace, hasn't he, out of turn 4? And he's literally pushing Braverton. And Braverton, goodness gracious me, that they're so close to each other. But again, then it has his status quo, isn't it? And they're starting to drop Percy. Percy's almost a second back now. Sounds of Ninja going this way and that way. But Braverton, the silver champion, will not be deterred that the call sensing comes up through the ranks. Braverton has, and he's had to deal with pressure like this in the past. Even if the pressure comes from the triple world champion, which is Sam Swift Ninja. Wow, in Mega Stuff indeed. Oh, we've got a bit of teleportation there. That's not good, is it? And that's making me very nervous indeed. That hopefully no one's got connection issue then, because that's going to spoil a very incredible race there. Braverton then accelerates now to Jung Sal then. And I think one of the biggest opportunities for overtaking. Oh, Sam Swift Ninja getting very snaky and again there. And he's teleporting. Oh my gosh. And the Sam Swift Ninja is teleporting. Hopefully that's just a blip then. And going down into the center S there. But Sam Swift Ninja there just a bit too far back at the moment, down into the center S there. Braverton is still leading second position. Braverton leads second position. Sam Swift Ninja. And Sam Swift Ninja is once again pushing hard here. And then once again, then as you can see, Braverton going to the inside and defending then. I'm thinking that I'm not sure if defending the inside is helpful then, but it's doing wonders for Braverton at the moment. Flippy again then is all over the back there. He had a chance to overtake. Whoa, getting close into that curve there was Flippy. He had a chance to overtake, didn't he? A couple of laps ago to Flippy, but he overshot the center S and went off the circuit. But he is back on the back of these drivers at the moment. Flippy is the quickest man, I feel, out of all four of these drivers in the battle for the race win there with just 12 laps to go. Sounds like Ninja getting a bit squirrely out of the pine tree. Oh gosh. As Knowlesy's dropped down into 19th position as Benedict's through as well. We haven't got many penalties out there at the moment, but they have started to rack in ever so slightly, haven't they? We're going to take stock. Braverton leads. Second position is Sam Swift Ninja. Percy in third position. Fourth is Flippy. Fifth is Morris. Great drive from Morris at the moment. I've got everything crossed. Sixth position is Equaz. Great drive from Equaz. Immortal Horror Show in seventh. Legends. Great drive in eighth position with D in ninth. And 10th position is Cam. 11th position is Delando. I got everything crossed, but Delando, maybe he can salvage a point in this race. And what a bit of great drive. But Nameless in 12th position with Van Bon in 13th. He's going to be quick in this final stage of this Grand Prix. 14th is Mayran. 15th position at the moment as I forgot who it was. It's Savasta as it go down again into turn 4 as it going up and under again then. But once again there, Sam Swift Ninja is pushing, but Braverton is covering all bases, isn't he? Wow, incredible race indeed. It's going to be all about keeping it on the island, about not getting any cheap penalties in this race. It's going to be edge of your seat stuff, and this is not the ideal way to spend a Sunday night, is it? You want to be relaxing, but goodness me, this is anything but relaxing at the moment. Championship permutations are certainly on the line in this one. Lap 25 out of 36 in this race, and luckily I think it's what Sam Swift Ninja's I'm not sure if it's technical issues or what was jumping around, but he's all fine now, and that is all good, unless I was imagining this, and if so, no drama. Oof, gosh. Nameless is getting very close to the back of Delando in the battle for 11th and 12th position there. Nameless might be able to get some points here there. Of course, Cam is currently in that final point scoring position. Sam Swift Ninja has dropped back by a couple of tenths of a second there, but he will be gaining once again then, and probably having another shot down into turn 4. That seems to be the best shot for Sam Swift Ninja. He doesn't really seem to be in the facility to challenge Braverton going into the center S. But then after that, then this part of the circuit here, he's very quick then. Delando is lost out as Nameless has got pass at Jung Sao. So that is a shame then for Dylan. Now that's quite a I'm surprised that there's an overtake there. Yellow flag, that's what's happening. It's Brooksy and Potstuff off the circuit. Potstuff's recovering, and now he does recover them, but Brooksy has got a lot of damage then. Van Bon has set the fast lap race, so that's a lot of damage for the Ferrari of Brooksy, and I'm not sure if him and Potstuff came together then, but it does look quite suspicious out there, doesn't it? Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. As it goodness me, Sam's Preston is warp mode, says Serious Russian. That's why he's going so quick, isn't it? It looks like he's jumping around. He's actually going into teleportation. He's going into hyperdrive, isn't he? Is Sam Swift Ninja. Oh gosh, as Flippy has dropped off the back there so far, which has allowed Percy to home up to the back there once again then. So Flippy, I think, just trying to get over a bit of Earth's recovery here. Sam, look at Percy there. There's so much torque on these Formula 1 cars. These V6 1.6 of turbocharged engines there. As there's a lot of wheel spinners as we go across the line. Brabham still leads with just 10 laps to go. Then Percy is too far back to have a look at on board with the world champion from season 9. The last world champion that was not named Sam Swift Ninja, currently in third position at the moment. Back at the front then, which we are a bit back at the front anyway. And coming down the Retro Aposta once again and flying past the camera then as we go into a turn 4. Brabham again there, just defended. And you can see that Brabham's in the top right-hand corner. Brabham also made his personal best time there as well. So these guys are pushing to the edge of the limit of their cars, their machines can handle in this one. As Brooksy is just getting out of the way, I think, that of the cars actually is being lapped in, which is a very good thing to do, as it's something which I don't do because I'm not a nice person. One car out of this race, then out of the 20 that started, that's Tulu out of the Grand Prix. Brooksy down in 19th position mode, and this rain seems to be, Brabham there, taking too much curb there, and the car is getting a bit uncomfortable out of the Ducks build, or is the Ducks build the other one? I do not know. Coming out of Jun Sao now, and there's Sanchez Ninja. I'm wondering if he feels that Brabham is maybe pushing those intermediate tires a bit too much to the edge of their performance point then, which is going to start to struggle and overheat potentially in this one. See, there's not much spray coming from the back of the car. So Mayron's got a 3-second penalty. Unfortunately, we're checking with the penalties in a later distance. This race has been dominated by the top 4 in this one. We haven't really seen much of anyone else, have we? Van Von though is catching quite quickly. Catching very quickly. Delando, Soundswift Ninja back on board with him once again. It's the raindrops, so they're just streaming down the cam here, then as it goes up and under again, and he gets so much better purchase, doesn't he? Coming out of turn 4, but there's nowhere to go. It's so narrow down there, especially with these modern Formula 1 cars. They're quite beastly, aren't they? As Van Von has not got past Delando down the start-finish straight, which is quite, I'm quite surprised by that then, as Shavasta and Mayran having 2 very difficult races, both Alpine drivers there, and both Alpine drivers are not even in the points then, which is a very disappointing indeed, but Shavasta has had issues right from the get-go here, and unfortunately didn't really have a fair enough chance. I don't even know if he was in the car when we got going then, unfortunately that's the first time I think Shavasta, as a full-time driver, has not scored points then, and he has scored points in the last 3 races in Italy, Azerbaijan and USA, but unfortunately no points so far for Savasta unless we have something untoward that happens in this one. I thought he was cutting the pits then just for the time being there, and I'm not sure if it's worth cutting the pits now with just 7 laps to go, but that remains to be seen then. We'll see how it goes. Well, Cam is the Van Von is coming to the pits, of course, there. And look at this, there's a great run now for Samsung Ninja. Then he is all over the gearboxes. The closest bit, Brooksy's got a 10-second penalty, and on the outside, Brooksy's out of the Grand Prix. And Samsung Ninja once again putting the pressure down, and he's up the inside, and he's through, and he passes Brabham, then takes the lead. Brabham's still got the inside, and Brabham still has the inside. Goodness gracious me! And this Samsung Ninja going to go up and under. Oh my word! Oh gosh, there, and that's it's getting very close. And Samsung Ninja's going to go on the outside, but the inside to the pine tree. He does have, but Brabham cuts off the nose cone here. And now then, it was getting very much, it was very much calm before the storm, wasn't it? And it was getting a bit leisurely at the front there, as Percy also steaming in there as well. Now, Brabham's gone off, and he's made a mistake here. And he's pressure cooker now. Brooks is out of the Grand Prix. We're down to 18 runners and riders in this one. Oh gosh. I thought I muted myself. Out of Young Sao once again, and I'm now Percy. No, Samsung Ninja is now really putting the pressure on Brabham, who's a 2-time Grand Prix winner this season and wants to become a 3-time Grand Prix winner. So does Flippy as well, as Percy wants a Flippy down the inside of Percy. Contact between the 2 cars. As goodness me, very close there. Skill of the drivers is fantastic, isn't there? I thought that was going to be a spin there, but Flippy somehow stops himself from spinning Percy completely. Brabham has got a bit of a lead now then, and it's going to be all about keeping it. And look at who's in the background there. You seen a flash of white. That is Morris in 5th position there. 5.1 seconds the gap is now. As Morris there is going to be keeping a watch and brief with these 4 that who starting to really battle for the Grand Prix win. Oh my goodness gracious me. Now Van Bonnet has got past Delano. Delano's driving superbly well, and this is Delano's best race of the season. Sadly though, it's not going to yield any results at the moment. And down in 13th position, lap 30 out of 36 in this very much tense affair with the the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Oh my word, incredible stuff indeed. And well, then that's a much more calmer lap there. Sounds like Ninja can probably feel the laps are now counted down, aren't they? They're getting the laps are counting down quicker and quicker for Sounds of Ninja. It's probably getting slower and slower from Broward's point of view. Flippy has dropped off the back ever so slightly when he half sent it into the side of Percy there, didn't they? It wasn't a damn deer move. Was it the Murph was very much on for Flippy, but it was probably a bit too close. Sounds of Ninja almost getting it sideways. But even still keeping up momentum. That car was sideways, but yeah, we're still flying out there as we go down the rest of our post against that. A quick check in on the championship there. Mortal down in 7th position there, and is now really defending himself from Legends, who Samson Ninja's teaming on the outside on Samson Ninja. He's staying on the outside. Brabant there, he's just forced him slightly off there. Magnificent defending there from Brabant. Oh, was it a bit too much there? Van Vonen's got a 3-second penalty. Oh my goodness gracious me. And can Legends there get past the Mortar and put even more and just really rain on the parade of the world champion, of the championship leader, which is the Mortar here. Oh my goodness gracious me. Brabant, Samson, Ninja, Percy and Equals for driving the day. Get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen there. But I haven't said that then. I think this is going to be a very much a doozy. It's going to be who's going to be able to survive the pressure of the last 5 or 6 laps or so in this one. Something's got to give some serious action. Absolutely. Oh my word then. What a race this has been then. This could be the race of the season so far, and I'm not surprised here in Sao Paulo as they go down to turn 1. Morris is now 4.3 seconds. He's found another 3 seconds there. Another laps like that for Morris, and he is going to be on the back of this crocodile. It's going to be a 5-way showdown. Is there a fatal 5-way? And now on board with Samson Ninja as again that he is pushing it. He knows that the pressure is on, and he knows he's running out of time here with just 4 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. And Samson Ninja all over the gearbox and Brabant again, and again he's pushing him out of turn 5. Then on board with Samson Ninja. The inside's been curtailed off, the outside's been curtailed off as well. Brabant's gone wide, and Samson Ninja, no, he's just too far back. It's so difficult to overtake in this part of the circuit, but he's literally pushing him out of the corners, isn't he? Oh my word. And look, Matt Morris is now under 4 seconds back at the moment now. Yes, indeed, I would not mention the man in 5th position, but he's driving superbly well. He's got it under 4 seconds on the gap. You'll see him. Where is he? Oh, he did it. But yeah, Morris is very much. Oh, I mentioned to say, but he is very much getting him within touch and distance. Oh, Samson Ninja there, getting very aggressive there. But even when he's aggressive, he still gets so much forward motion, and he is flying. Samson Ninja is there. And my goodness gracious me there. Of course, no DRS in these wet weather conditions there, and I don't think the DRS is going to come out at all then, which might be frustrating Samson Ninja ever so slightly. And I wonder if Samson Ninja is wondering why the DRS has not been enabled there. We do not get more often than not the DRS has not been enabled in these wet weather conditions there, but it's very light rain, isn't it there? And I would say that it's not dangerous weather conditions here, but however these are the cards that are being played at the moment as we come down the Retro Aposta once again. Samson Ninja and Lucas Percy and Flippy Brabant, all these guys could win the race, but only one can win the race, unless we have a dead heat, of course, which I don't think has ever happened. I think it will have to go under 4 thousandths of a second, wouldn't it? As Nameless and as Van Bod has got past Nameless now in 11th position. He's got a 12-second buffer deficit between himself and Cam, who is on course to score more points than Aston Martin. Cam is scoring points regularly now in that Aston Martin. So is Nameless as well. It took him a very long time, Aston Martin, to get points on the board, but now they have got points on the board. He is absolutely now the Aston Martin team now have got points on the board. They've been scoring regularly, haven't they, in the last several races? So brilliant stuff indeed there. No major incidents in this race. It's been very clean stuff indeed. Then out of a Young Sao once again, and now Samson Ninja Samson Ninja is now really putting the pressure on once again as Brabant there once again going to the inside there. Is that to cool his tires, or is that to defend there? Is that to break the slipstream? I do not know. Which is nothing unusual, to be honest. this is incredible stuff indeed there. But Immortal Legends and now D is also in the vicinity as well for Immortal and his battle to keep 7th position there. It's been a bad day in the office for the championship leader, and of course this is more points that the Sounds of Ninja is homing into on Immortal as well. And of course we'll tell you about the point score at the end of this race, and because my quick mass is certainly not good. Oh goodness me, do we have fireworks outside? So Vasta's got the fastest, it's got a 3-second penalty. I apologise, I thought it was fastest up there. As race control there is back on board now with Sam Swift Ninja. As you can see then, look at this is from his eye point of view then, with just 3 laps to go. You're 41 points away from Immortal in the championship, but Immortal's having a harsh over day. Immortal has only scored 12 points in the last 2 races, and as yourself, there's scored 43 points in the last race, and it's started to really home in on Immortal in the World Championship. And Sam Swift Ninja's been here multiple times. He is a 3-time world champion. He can use his experience back from season 10, where they came from a long way back to win the Drivers' Championship. And is he using that experience again here this season? He certainly is, isn't he? He's going to have, I think, only one more shot, I think, at this Grand Prix win, maybe 2. Brabbit is driving superbly well. He is the coolest cucumber in all of Brazil, Silverstone, in all of Sao Paulo here. What a driver from all 4 of these drivers. And this is incredible. This is car racing. No, this is Formula 1. As, goodness me, I was quoting Anakin Skywalker there, but it wasn't car racing, it was pod racing. Down into the rest of the poster once again. And I think the Sounds of Ninja's going to have one more bite of the cherry, one more moment then, isn't he? But fair play to Sounds of Ninja then for not lunging that. Well, fair play for all of them really for taking a. For really, they're just not lunging at each other, because I must admit, I would have thought that some other drivers would have probably lunged for it as well. But there's so much on the line, isn't there, for all these drivers from various teams there. Anything can certainly happen in the championship there. Flippy is officially, I think, will be officially out of this championship if the results stay the same. But Sam Swift Ninja cannot afford a lunge and take his nose cone off, I don't think, especially with the form that Immortals on the moment. We do go to Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi after tonight then, so there is still anything goes, and there's still anyone's ball game for the World Championship. There's a Williams in front of us there. I think that is Pot Stuff, and Pot Stuff might be able to give a distant toe to Brabbit. Is this the final tour of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and what has been an absolute instant classic in this one there? It certainly has, the positions have been very much static, but my goodness gracious, it has been an absolute incredible. And Sam Swift Ninja, though, does have it, though, he knows that this is crucial for the 7 points there. He wants to win the World Championship for the 4th time. Brabbit then just coming into turn 4. Sam Swift Ninja then is all over the gearbox. We got yellow flags, and it's one of the Williamsons are just getting out of the way there. I think that was Pot Stuff. It was Pot Stuff. Brabbit has survived, and you can see, look at that Haas just sliding there as Percy has gone very defensive. I think in the background he's lost a second, hasn't he? Has Percy then, look at Brabbit, Sam Swift Ninja's pushing Brabbit, but Brabbit is absolutely, he's like a sponge. He's absorbing this pressure fantastically well into the final sector of lap 36 out of 36 of the Brazilian Sao Paulo Grand Prix, down into Magulio to dive for the 36th and final time. Nameless has got the fastest lap of the race as well. I think I'll be happy for Nameless after what's been a not too bad day for Aston Martin, but he would have been more happier with points then. Here's Brabbit then, and now as we come out of a young cow then, and now Sam Swift Ninja is gaining, but I think it's going to be too little too late then. It is, and Brabbit wins the Brazilian Grand Prix, and that is an absolute outstanding Grand Prix from Brabbit, and he punches the air with the line. 3 Grand Prix wins of the season for Brabbit. He absorbed the pressure from Sam Swift Ninja almost from the get-go, and from Lucas Percy, and from Flippy. What a drive from Brabbit. What an amazing drive from Brabbit. Oh my goodness gracious me, that is fantastic stuff indeed. And I gotta say, hats off to Brabbit, because not many drivers would have been able to do that for umpteen laps, and that was absolutely mega stuff from the Haas driver. Brabbit is an absolute, well, we've always been saying, of course, when he won in silver, it was only a matter of time, and that is Brabbit's 3rd win of his career and of the season as well. And I would say that is his most impressive win of his career in Grand Prix racing. That is mega stuff from Brabbit, and absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. I think he's almost solidified his is a challenge for third in the drivers' championship there. But even more impressively, he's had 3 Grand Prix win this season, and that is probably the most impressive win of the lot. Then how he kept Soundswift Ninja at bay for so long is beyond me. That pressure that he was absorbing from Soundswift Ninja, especially when there's 4 or 5 moments there where I thought the Soundswift Ninja was going to get by going up into the Ducks build or whatever that corner is called. Incredible stuff indeed. An absolute mega drive. And as you can see, race winner for Brabant, cleanest driver of Legends with overtakes Cam. Legends drivers Dave Van Von fastest up then. Final classification from the Brazilian Grand Prix then. And it is Brabant then who leads the championship. No, it's Brabant who won the race at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sam Swift Ninja second. Percy in third position. Flippy in fourth with Morris. Great drive in fifth position. My personal driver of the day. Equels also my personal driver of the day in sixth position. How many drivers could I have? Immortal in seventh position. A difficult day for the championship leader. That could have repercussions. Legends great drive from 16th to 8th. D in 9th. Cam in 10th position. So fast just outside the points of length with Van Von in 12th, but gets that bonus point fastest up there. Unfortunate for Delano in 13th. Mayran in 14th. Nameless in 15th with Benedict in 16th. Knowlesy 17th. Pot 7 18th. Retirements was Brooksy and Tulu, unfortunately. So those are our 2 retirements here in this Brazilian Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic stuff. That one was a goodness gracious me. And in terms of the championship then, it looks like this then is... Hang on a minute, let me get my old calculator out then. But in terms of the championship, I think that with Immortal getting 6 points and Soundtrip Ninja getting 18 points, the standings is now down to 29 points, give or take a point or 2 or something like that. So it is 29 points then with 3 races to go in this one. And my goodness gracious me, that it is getting squeaky bum time for all those drivers out there. And it's another handful of points that Soundtrip Ninja has gained out of Immortal. But let's go to today's Grand Prix and let's talk to Brabant, who was not only your driver of the day but also your Grand Prix winner. And Brabant, goodness me, I gotta say, you're the coolest cucumber in all of Brazil. How the hell did you keep Soundstrip Ninja behind you for so long? That was magnificent.
Wow, absolutely stunning. Like, I'm really happy with this performance. It might be my first race in gold with a pole and a win in one race, so I'm really happy. Quali performance was good, race performance was good, strategy was on point, and yeah, it was all about not doing any mistakes. Sam was also so close in my behind me, so I had like 0 chances to do any small mistakes, and yeah, I kept it clean. I was fighting a lot, and I'm so happy that it worked out in the end, and I cannot believe it right now.
I was saying on comms that I think that was your best result of your best win of your career. Would you agree with that? Because that was absolutely immense. How you just kept your cool when I was losing mine.
Definitely, 100%. I was thinking the last 3 or 5 laps, what am I doing right now? I'm fighting with the current gold champion. I'm fighting with former champion Lucas Percy for win. I started in ALR just as a casual driver. Then I luckily, or I was so proud of my championship in silver, and now I'm winning a gold race against all the champions in gold. So I cannot describe it. I'm really happy. Uh, Everything worked out today. I'm so glad to stand on top of the podium. But congrats to Percy and Sam. They were so strong, and they don't give me any room to breathe.
It certainly didn't, and there were some occasions where it was getting very squeaky, especially down into turn 4 and the run up into turn 6 and 7. And both you and Sam Swift Ninja were side by side in probably one of the most narrowest parts of the track, and probably on the calendar as well. Goodness me, gotta say, at that point of view, was you concerned that you two was going to touch, or did you never have that problem?
Oh, yeah, I remember 1 or 2 close calls, of course. But I knew Sam and also Percy. They are so experienced and they are so clean. Like, I knew they won't do anything stupid. And yeah, so I think we all gave us just enough room to survive, but not more space because everyone wants to win. And yeah, I'm really glad to have a chance to battle them and also to win against them. I'm really happy, really happy. Congrats again to Percy and Sam. They were really quick today, and I'm really happy to talk to you as a winner today.
Someone else be happy to talk to me. But also, it's what there is two major points in that race which we have to look back on, and one was the pit. Well, one was the start, because the start you was absolutely superb. You got away so quickly compared to a Mortal and Lucas Percy behind you as well. You had such a clean run down to turn one and then into turn four. Did that give you a good mindset into the race then, or am I thinking too much into that start?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I had a good traction on the start. The RPM were on the point. I had no wheel spin, and yeah, I felt pretty confident in the first few laps, and that helped me a lot. I think I also got a 1 second gap to P2, and then yeah, in the end, or in the following, the guys were closing up. So I think when everyone had free air, I think I wouldn't be the fastest, but you don't have to be the fastest to win. You have to finish first, and I think I did it today.
You absolutely did. We were fantastic. We were a fantastic racer, and of course there is another critical point of the pit stops as well. Mortal came in the pits quite early on, but then the rest of the gaggle of four cars that you were fighting, you stayed out until about the halfway distance. Was that always the plan then, or was that kind of like a moving target for yourselves?
Of course. I saw that some drivers behind, like around lap 9 or lap 10, were driving the quickest laps. So I guess they were driving on new inters, so they had so they had a pace advantage. But yeah, I wanted to pit earlier, of course, but I wasn't sure if I could come out of the pits in traffic. So I really wanted to avoid that. And I think around lap 16 or 17, and there was a very low risk to fall back into the traffic. And then I knew I need to pit because undercut is so powerful here. And I think it was the perfect pit window. And yeah, and then in the end, no mistakes were allowed because Sam and Percy were putting the pressure so high, and I'm really happy to survive and to win today. I'm really happy.
From an opponent's point of view now, you've won three very different races. Of course, today I would say this is your most impressive, especially where you have to absorb so much pressure, especially from a triple world champion and Lucas Percy, champion in one of his own right as well. So as a competitor, I'm going to be pretty concerned now of seeing you up at the front, getting pole position and a win today, and just how you just got that car parked in the front and then just so difficult to overtake then. Do you feel now that you've now potentially have a psychological advantage over the rest of your competitors now?
First of all, thank you very much for the high praise. It's really a pleasure to hear it. And yeah, I think today it just everything worked out. Like I had to focus on incredible level. Like I was so focused, doing with zero mistakes. And of course, I will try to keep it through the next races to keep the rhythm, but you never know. Sam and Percy, they can always strike back. So of course, I will try my best. But in gold, you can never know. I think there are 4 or 5 drivers who can win the race, and we will have to wait and we have to see.
Great drive today, Robert. Great drive to driver of the day and your third Grand Prix win of the season. Superb stuff indeed there. And I think you've really
Thank you,
cemented that
thank
third
you.
position in the Drivers' Championship. Magnificent. Sam, a great drive to second position today. And I'm going to start on a very positive note because you're now only 29 points away from Immortal in the Championship. We had a very difficult race today. But then let's go back to qualifying because I was feeling that that was a major ploy in the outcome of this championship, but that you turned that around so quickly in the opening stages of the lap, then you torpedoed right up into the Grand Prix winner circle.
Yeah, well, I kind of had to because I had a crap qualifying, and I mean it's just been the story of quite a few of the races now that qualifying has been stiffing me, and I've always had to try and fight with the way through the some of the pack to try and get a good result, and I mean it happened again. I don't know how people are so good at qualifying. I don't know if it's because of my friggin' driving style because it's smooth or something, and people just are good with flicking around like hairpin style corners and being good. But I mean, like I'm pushing in the qualifying laps, and my pace is useless. It's actually useless. I don't know how they're all so quick, but I mean in the race, I just had to go for it. I mean, like we keep on saying when I've been in the party at the end of the race. I mean, it was always going to be a long shot to win this championship. So I mean, every race now I'm just going to have to go for it and obviously try and get race wins because I need to gain like 7, 8 points or like 10 points around on AC. So yeah, qualifyings are just honestly they're so crap. I hate them.
Having said that, though, you are, but more importantly, you're getting the points in the race, and it seems to have been swapped around because Immortal is good in qualifying, but is struggling in the races at the moment. And you've now got a 29-point gap between yourself and Immortal. It's getting very tense now. I know you've still got to take out 10 points per race, then, but Immortal in the last couple of races or so has scored very little points compared to yourself. I think the stats up until today was like 43 points to yourself compared to Immortal's 12. And with another second position today, it is looking all fine and dandy going into Las Vegas, isn't it?
No, because I mean, AC's also quick at Las Vegas, and I'm not really doing enough. Even though obviously people will say second place is great, and obviously with AC not getting good results, then it's looking favourable. But I mean, I don't need to get seconds. I need to win every race, and if I'm finishing seconds, then I'm missing out on 7 points every week. If I finish second, then it's probably going to cost me the championship. I mean, obviously the mid part of the season, start of the season, is probably going to cost me the championship. But I mean, I'm just not good enough. I need a miracle if I want to win this championship by the end of the season.
Well, I would say that miracle did come with an incredible start today, and that you yourself and Brabbit, Percy, and Flippy had an absolutely outstanding race. And the top four was absolutely impressive stuff. And that there was parts of the race there where you and Brabbit was going side by side, especially in that very narrow part of the circuit out of turn 5 up into turn 6. And
Yeah,
my goodness me, you seemed to really struggle with pace going down into the center S, and was very much quicker than Brabbit into turn 4 of the Sao
yeah.
Paulo race. What would you say about that?
I don't know. I was just. I don't know why I was so slow. Well, no, the entry I was always going for a wide line so I could get a better exit of turn 3. But by the looks of it, everyone was going was stupidly low wings because I mean I was using all my battery and I was getting absolutely nothing on B Rabbit. So you must have had significantly low wings. And I mean, if I want to nitpick, obviously I don't want to be harsh to be Warwick because I mean the racing for most of it was well like 99% of it was all good, but I mean on lap 31 going into the fast right hander, I probably could have won the race if he didn't make contact with me on the halfway through the corner because the contacts did make me lose the back end, and then I had to collect the car and lost the time. So I mean, I could have won the race to be honest if it wasn't for that contact because I was already in front of him at the entry part of the fast right hander. If I want to nitpick, so I mean, it is pretty annoying to get this P2 to be honest because I could have won the race. But apart from that, the racing was well, for me, it was obviously annoying because I couldn't get past into the lead apart from that one moment where I could have done it. But I mean, in terms of spectating, it was probably really entertaining, so it was pretty good.
Oh, it certainly was for me. I loved it. And of course, there was also a point where you was behind Percy as well. Was you concerned about being behind Percy, knowing that Percy's, of course, teammate to Immortal?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, it's not like I mean, with them both being in the same team, it's not like he's going to let me through if I'm quicker and etc. And I mean, Lucas has always been a tough competitor, but I mean, extremely fair. So I knew the racing it was either going to be tough racing but fair racing, and I mean, I was glad I managed to get past him um, quite quickly. To be honest, obviously compared to B Rabbit. But yeah, to be honest, it was fun racing. Like I said, with the top three, apart from obviously that small little moment um, going into the middle sector.
But still a great P2 today, Sam Swift, and an absolutely great drive as well. 29 points away at the moment. And Lucas Percy finishing third today. And at one stage, I was actually thinking that this could be your first Grand Prix win the season. But for today, you disappointed by that, or you satisfied with that podium?
Um, at the start of the race, yeah, I would have been satisfied with a podium. But then after the pit stops, I think you know, yeah, I probably should have won that race. Other than the little incident I had with Rabbit, I think the race was pretty boring, to be honest. Like Sam said, I think I was as well a bit lower on the wing, or a bit higher on the wing, sorry. So it was just I was draining literally all of my battery down that back straight, and I was just losing time to the guys in front. So I think in the end P3 is probably the max I could have done, but without that incident with Rabbit, I probably could have had the win.
Talk us about the incident with Brabham, 'cause I don't think we saw it on stream. Is that where you lost P2? Was that?
Yeah, it was. Rabbit, he was doing it all race. He kept moving to the left hand side, and he'd done it. And then I'd sort of got my car alongside him, and then he sort of moved back over onto the racing line just in the braking zone, and it put me on the grass. And the grass on this game is completely your enemy. And as soon as I touched that grass, it sent my rear end into a bit of a half spin. And luckily, if Rabbit's car wasn't on the inside, I would have gone completely round. And my car sort of hit him just as I've entered back onto the track, and I've gone wide and Sam's gone through on the inside. But I think if it wasn't for that incident, I would have probably gone around the outside and hopefully have won the race. But I'm more than happy with the P3. I think I've had a bit of momentum on my side now in these last couple of races, a couple of podiums. So hopefully I can try and keep this form up and maybe in the next couple of races go for a win.
You mentioned about your rear wing being a bit on the higher side there. Was that a decision? Was that a decision decided by the weather when you seen the weather forecast for tonight's event, or was you always going to go with a higher downforce to get a better qualifying?
To be honest, I just chose the setup that was online before we joined the lobby, and then I just stuck with that. And then when I did see the rain, because I was only expecting it to rain towards the end of the race, not the whole race. So when at the start, when I did see the rain, I did up my front wing by a couple of clicks, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway if I had lowered it. I think everyone else was pretty low on the wing, so it wouldn't have really mattered. And especially around here, where even with DRS, it's still pretty hard to overtake. So especially without it, it was just near on impossible.
We also seen it got a bit sketchy with yourself and Flippy. Flippy went for a bit of a wild lunge down into turn one of the centre wrestling. We had a bit of a rubbish camera angle, sadly, but was there a bit of contact between yourself and Flippy into turn one then, or was the door a little ajar for Flippy to have a go?
I think there was a little bit of contact, but well, I mean, it was pretty late to be honest. I wasn't really expecting it. I think it was 2 or 3 attempts back. But I tried to leave as much room as possible. I think just the curbs on this game aren't really great, and I think he sort of hit the curb, and then it sort of just steered him into me. So I mean, thankfully we both kept going, and we didn't really lose much time from it.
And apart from that, it was very much a bit of a watch and brief. Of course, you guys were yo-yoing around, going, dropping and gaining on each other. And Flippy was also behind you as well. If Flippy wasn't behind you, do you think that you might have gone for more of a wild lunge, or maybe Sam Swift Ninja or Brabbit then, knowing that their cars were so close, or was that just not an option today with the weather out there?
No, there was no point really. Like you said, with the weather, I could have maybe tried to go for a lunge, but I could have locked up the front tyres and took myself out of the race, and maybe potentially took Sam or Brabbit out of the race. So there was no point. There was a couple of times I think on lap 31 when Sam and Brabbit did have that incident when Sam was talking about it. Sam went wide, and I did think of having a little lunge up the inside, but Sam had covered it off, and I did lock both the fronts. I was literally about an inch away from smacking Sam's booty, so thankfully we didn't touch. But yeah, there was literally no point in making moves. It was would have been more risk for myself and everyone around. Um, so I just thought, I'll be more than happy with the podium and try and get that win in another race.
And next week in Las Vegas, then you potentially have the opportunity to clinch the constructors' championship, or if everything goes your way for the race and ball team. But your teammate seems to be in a bit of a low at the moment. You've been there, challenging for championships. I do remember one season in particular. You was teammates with Troy, and Troy did win in Qatar in a crucial race, and that you finished second. If the roles are reversed now, where Immortal's behind you, would you let Immortal through, or will you do the same thing as Troy and go for that win?
I think it'd be daft not to go for the win, but at the end of the day, it is Immortal's first championship. I already do have one, so I mean, how many points is he ahead? 29 points with
Nah,
3 rounds to go.
you don't need to let
So
him through.
I,
Please don't.
I think obviously like today, I didn't mean to actually go for that move on him. I think I kind of cost him the P6 or whatever he finished there. I think that was kind of my fault because on lap one into turn 4 or 5, I did go for a move. I wasn't really expecting him to go as wide as he did and kind of leave me that much room. But I think from now on, I think I am going to have to just play the team game. I'm more than happy anyway, just to let him through. When we were in the Williams back in season 9, when I won my championship, he always played the team role. So I'll be more than happy now to just let him through. Bit of a shame I couldn't get the win, but it is what it is, and I'm more than happy to help him and assist him into his championship.
Really well done today, guys. Brilliant job indeed there. Of course, Bradford getting his third win of the season. Sam Swift Ninjas cut the gap down to 29 points, and Percy's on the verge of becoming a three-time constructor champion as well. Superb stuff indeed. Tomorrow night it is going to be silver, and Mayran, who had a bit of a difficult race today, potentially has an opportunity to extend his lead to it's 29 points, similar to what we've got in gold. But Mayran could extend that lead over Sweet then to more tomorrow night. So Sweet needs to bounce back. Then Duke has had some technical issues as well with connections. Can he get himself back in the championship fight? It's starting to look like a long shot with just 4 races to go. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, McLaren cannot clinch the Constructors yet, but they will be able to in Las Vegas if things go their way. And Williams has a horror show race once again. And then on Tuesday night, Reflections has taken the lead in the Bronze Championship, and Smithy Almighty has 10 points back. And then we got Hungry Stars is now within a win of the top 2. Stars is in absolute fine battle, isn't he? Dynamo Dan is starting to look like an outside bet now to be crowned a bronze champion. So I think it might be a 3-horse race then, depending on how results go in Brazil on Tuesday night as well. I can't remember about Wednesday. That's too far in advance for me. I'm going to bed. Have a great evening all. Good night.